Hi, I'm Jessica. This is Mary Beth. Today we have for you a peak pose sequence leading up to and working on scorpion pose on the forearms. So if you need a little bit of a warm up, I would suggest doing a few sun salutations and your favorite opening sequences so that you can be ready to go for this short back bending series. So we're gonna start with Gomukhasana arms. So we're actually gonna both demonstrate it, Mary Beth from the front and me from the back. So take your strap and throw it over your right shoulder. And then reach your left arm up. Take your right hand and guide your left elbow behind, and you should be able to grab hold of that belt. It should be just right there for your left hand to grab. Lift your chin up out of your chest, and then bring the right arm around to catch hold of any other part of the belt that you can catch hold of. Pause here and pull on the belt. So it's as if I'm trying to pull the belt in opposite directions, and that actually helps me to organize my elbows in sort of a polar opposite direction and helps me to organize my head up into my left upper arm. Then, after you've been here for a couple of breaths, you may wish to walk the hands a little bit closer together, or maybe the hands connect together. If the hands connect, you can just let go of the belt and let it hang there over your shoulder. With your hands connected, there's still this action of pulling the fingers against one another to sort of lift the left elbow up and reach the right elbow down in opposite directions from each other. And then to release, we're going to reach the left arm up and then both arms alongside the body. Okay, other side. Move that belt over to the other shoulder. Reach the right arm up. Take the left hand and guide the right elbow behind, and then find that belt. So it should be right there for the right hand to grab. Lift your chin up out of your chest, and then take the left arm around behind and grab whatever part of the belt you can find there. And again, the action is of sort of pulling that belt, as if I wanted to pull that belt longer, but I probably won't be able to with my own strength. But I'm pulling the belt up and down with the hands. And that helps to get the upper arm bones sort of organized in the right direction. Now that we've been here for a few breaths, start to walk the hands maybe a little bit closer towards each other. Perhaps the hands connect together, in which case you can just let the belt hang over your opposite shoulder. And again, pull the fingertips against one another, almost as if you're trying to pull the hands apart. And then to release, we're going to reach the right arm up and bring both arms alongside the body. Good. So you can put your belt off to the side and then go ahead and lay down on your abdomen. Bring the arms alongside the body, palms of the hands facing up to the ceiling. Lift up the head, the chest, and the legs for Shalabhasana. Reach back through the legs and lift the round part of your upper arm bone up away from the floor. And then slowly release down. Bring the fingers and interlace the hands behind the base of the skull. And then point the tips of the elbows forward. So almost bringing the upper arm bones into a position where they're parallel to one another. Then on your inhale, lift your head, chest, and legs, kind of like a Shalabhasana variation. But this time focusing on sort of scooping the points of the elbows forward and up, and thus opening from the armpit to the elbow on the upper arm. Good, and then slowly release down. And then prop up onto your elbows for a Sphinx pose with the arms. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knees up, lift the hips up for a forearm plank pose. Good. Reach back through the heels, firm up the upper legs. Have the tailbone dragging back between the heels. And then release the hips down to the floor. Pause there for just a moment. We're going to take another variation. Tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up like a forearm plank pose. This time you're going to walk your feet closer in towards your elbows and then pause. For now, we're going to keep both feet on the floor, just working on opening up the shoulders and the upper part of the body. So push your chest way back towards your legs. And then see if you can walk your feet just a little bit closer. And again, push your chest way back towards your legs. And then see if you can walk the feet a little bit closer. Good. And then you can look between your feet. So no need to lift your head for this one. Keep pushing the chest back. Keep lifting the creases of the hips up towards the ceiling, almost like there's a clothesline holding you up by your hip creases. Keep breathing. And then walk the feet back. Lower the hips down to the floor and rest. So I know that one can be a little bit, in some ways, more challenging than forearm stand balance because you're having to use so much strength in your shoulders and your core and your hip flexors, but it's good practice. Okay, so bend the knees, reach back, catch hold of the ankles. And then kicking the feet back into the hands, lift up for Dhanurasana. Try to let the belly button be the sort of balance point for the pose. And then slowly release down. So Dhanurasana is good practice for the shape we're going for, except that we also want to work on this flexion of the shoulders and this relationship of the upper arm bone to the head. So we're going to take another variation of Dhanurasana that more mimics the shape that we're working towards in Scorpion. So bend the knees again and take the loopy end of a belt and loop it around both feet. And then take the tail end of the belt and hold it with both hands in front of you. So your elbows are on the floor, your head is resting on the floor. Then it feels sort of like Dhanurasana to lift up. You're going to kick the feet back away from the buttocks and let the head, the chest, and the legs lift up. Now, even though your arms will not fully straighten, you're going to try to extend your arms and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Then after a couple of moments, walk your hands down your belt even further towards your feet. And then again, try to unbend the elbows to the best of your ability, even though they won't unbend all the way. We know that already. Go to bend the elbows a little bit, walk your hands back down the belt. Maybe you can even work towards grabbing the loop that you've made in your belt and then try to extend your arms and legs up to the ceiling. And then slowly, slowly release down. And we'll put that belt to the side. Okay. Go ahead and roll all the way over onto the back. Lift the hips up, and we're going to take the block right under the sacrum, which is sort of the flattest part of the back of the pelvis there. And then lift the left heel up. Reach out with your left hand and hold your left ankle and pull your left toes to the floor on the outside of your left hip. It's almost like you knew what I was going to do. And then you're going to flip the foot around. So let's see that foot. You're going to flip the foot so that the top of the foot, the toenail side of the foot, is on the floor. Okay. Now, instead of just trying to push your knee down to the floor, which is only okay, much better is I want you to reach your knee away from the center of your body. So it's almost like you're trying to pull your kneecap towards the wall that's in front of your knee. Then, last bit, push your foot down hard into the floor. Almost like you're trying to kick the floor with the pointed foot. So you're both reaching the left knee forward and kicking the left foot down into the floor to open up the front of the left hip and the front of the left thigh. Okay, go ahead and put the left foot back where it came from. Lift the right heel, bring the right heel back beside your right hip. And then again, flip the foot all the way over so that the toenail side of the foot is on the floor. And again, we're reaching the right kneecap away from the middle of the body, so towards the wall that's in front of us. And at the same time, kicking the toenail side of the foot down into the floor. So kicking the foot down and reaching the knee away. Kicking the foot down and reaching the knee away. And then memorize that feeling because you're going to need it. Okay, take the right foot back to the floor where it came from. Lift your hips up. We'll take that block away and go ahead and lower down. Okay, at this point, we're gonna go ahead and move to the wall. Okay. So here's one way that I really like to practice this pose. I take a chair and I put the back of the chair right up against the wall here. Then Mary Beth is going to actually grab the legs of the chair with her forearms on the sticky mat there. She's going to kick up into her forearm stand just like she normally would. So one leg up to the wall, second leg finds the wall. Good. Once she finds the wall, then she's going to step 1 and then 2 feet onto the back of the chair. Now, if you're a little bit more open, you can start to work on bringing the feet to the seat of the chair. But then the dynamic is as follows. You're pushing the balls of the feet into the chair and pushing the points of the hip forward towards the center of the room. So it's like that Dhanurasana feeling where you're kicking the feet in one direction and the hips in the other direction. Good. And then 1 foot to the wall, 2 feet to the wall, and then come on down 1 leg at a time. Good. Take a short rest. And then we'll take one more variation at the wall. So can you set up your forearms a little bit closer to the wall than we had with the chair, but not quite so close. I would say you want to give yourself about 1 hand's length distance away from the wall to start. Then go ahead, lift the knees up, kick the feet up to the wall. Good. And then once you find the wall, we're going to have kind of a similar feeling that we had with the block behind the sacrum when we were in the center of the room. So you're going to bring 1 foot onto the wall, 2 feet onto the wall. So the toenail side of the foot is on the wall, and then you're going to kick both of the toenail sides of your feet into the wall in order to press the pelvis forward towards the center of the room. So that dynamic of kicking the feet away from the buttocks, again, helps you to find that scorpion shape, that scorpion feeling. And pretty soon you'll be able to move it to the center of the room. Okay, 1 foot, 2 feet, and then come on down and take a rest. So hopefully these little tips and tricks will help you to find your way closer to that tricky scorpion shape. Thank you so much to Mary Beth for demonstrating for us today, and thank you so much for practicing with us.